My best friend just cheated on her boyfriend and he just proposed. This story came March 31st, 2016. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. I introduced one of my best friends, let's call her Kiana, to one of my good friends, Mason, 3 years ago. They instantly hit it off and they were an item in no time. To me, it always seemed like they had a good relationship. They started getting serious, bought a condo together, and just adopted a dog from the local shelter last month. On Saturday, Kiana and I went out dancing with some of my colleagues from work. We were all pretty tipsy and Kiana said that she had to go to the bathroom, so I went to the bar to get us some drinks. After about 10 minutes, my colleague asked, "Where's Kiana?" I scanned the bar to find her talking to this guy. Kiana is pretty flirtatious when she drinks, but as I was walking towards her, I saw her lean to be closer to this guy and she started making out with him. I stood there in shock, but after regaining my composure, I made it over to her and I said that we needed to talk. I asked what she was doing and she said, "It was nothing, it was just the heat of the moment. Please don't tell Mason." I was pretty pissed and I told her that that was a crappy position that she put me in. She said she had to go to the bathroom, then asked if we could go home right after. I went over to say bye to my other friends when I noticed her leaving the bathroom line and walking over to that same guy again. They were on the other side of the bar, so I started making my way over again when they left. I began calling her phone and she ignored me. And just as I got outside, she was getting into a cab with this guy. I was seething. I tried calling her again and I left her a couple of texts and voicemails asking her to call me as soon as she could so that I knew she was safe. That is my first priority, to make sure she wasn't going home with some creep. Then I would talk to her about cheating on Mason. She finally got back to me around 5 a.m. Sunday morning, texting me that she was safe and that she needed to talk to me. I received that text when I woke up around 9 and I told Kiana to come to my apartment. She was over in about half an hour, asked if she could borrow a change of clothes, and she started crying. She said she slept with the guy last night and instantly regrets it. Kiana said that she missed having other men attracted to her, so she gave into the temptation. I told her that even though it was hard, she needed to tell Mason. She said that she would and thanked me for not judging her too harshly. I said what she did was wrong and it was unfair to make me choose sides, but Mason is also my friend and most importantly, her boyfriend who deserves to know the truth. A few days passed without a word from Kiana. Yesterday evening, she texted me saying, "Mason proposed. I said yes." Oh my God, he totally doesn't know. I sat and stared at the text for a few minutes. Then she called me, squealing with excitement, and gave me the details of the proposal. I then asked if she had told Mason about what happened last weekend. She said she didn't and couldn't now, or it would ruin the engagement. She then said her mom was calling her, so she hung up. I haven't heard from her since yesterday evening, but she's already posting her ring all over social media. I love Kiana to death. We have been friends for over 10 years, but I can't help but be angry at her for not only cheating on Mason, who is the kindest, sweetest man, but for hiding it from him and accepting a proposal. I get the sense that she is insecure, which is why she sought validation from some random dude at the bar instead of her boyfriend, now fiance. She put me in such an awkward position. A part of me says that I need to stay out of it, not ruin my friendships with her, as this is none of my business, but I can't get the image of her kissing that guy and leaving in a cab with him out of my head. Mason deserves to know the truth too. I have also been cheated on before, so I know how it feels. I don't want to ruin anything, but the weight of this situation is killing me, considering I'm the only one who knows what happened. What should I do? Oh, God. Oh, see, that's awful because Mason absolutely deserves to know, especially since he's proposing and obviously taking the next step towards marriage, but even taking the proposal out of it. And you introduced her to your good friend, Mason. Oh no. That's a crappy position for you to be in. She should tell Mason. Yeah, she should be the one to tell him. That's crazy. Let's check out what people of Reddit are saying because they don't hold back. Someone said, WTF. She didn't tell him despite promising she would. Then he proposed and she accepted and she had the gall to brag about this to you. Here's the conversation I would suggest you have with her. You need to tell Mason what happened. If you don't, I'm going to. Although personally, I would just go tell Mason directly. She had the chance to do this and she went completely in the other lying direction. If you give her an opportunity, she'll probably lie repeatedly and do everything she can to throw you under the bus because she's proven she's a person with no morals whatsoever. If it were me, I would risk the friendship ending and tell Mason. Honestly, I wouldn't want to be friends with somebody who would do that anyhow. Remember, she may be putting Mason at risk of STDs at this point with her dishonesty. Oh, I forgot about that. That's a very valid point. Didn't even think about that. Definitely a possibility. OP responded back to that and said, I think that's what I need to do. Not only from a moral standpoint, but also because of the potential health risks. I was so upset when I saw her that I didn't even ask if she bothered to use protection. But you're right, he deserves to know, and it would probably be wise if I didn't hint to her that I'm going to tell him. Yeah, true. I don't know. Ugh. I mean, the only best case scenario is her literally telling Mason. Then again, Mason's gonna be like, you knew? Ugh, what a mess. All right, next comment. You literally warned her multiple times that you did not like being put in the middle and that you expected her to tell him. She wrote, I never told her that I would tell him if she didn't. Sure, she can assume that and she will definitely know it was me who spilled the beans when I tell him later, but I never explicitly said, hey, Kiana, if you don't tell Mason, I'm going to. Of course, she's probably thinking of an alibi or already has some story to plot against me if she thinks I'm going to tell him. But I never gave her a heads up on what I was going to do in this situation, so she just thinks that I'm staying out of it. I believe that because she called you all excited to tell you the news. So to her, she's probably like, you're my best friend, you're not going to tell him. Next comment. Mason deserves to know the truth too. I've also been cheated on before, so I know how it feels. You know what you need to do. You didn't and you won't ruin anything. That cat was out of the bag, not due to your actions, but due to Kiana's actions. She has made her bed and now she must lay in it. The best you can do is tell Mason, but whether or not he believes you is up to him. It's essentially her word versus yours. Do you even really want to be friends with someone who would do this to her fiance? OP responded and said, I do know that I need to do it. I need to figure out the best way to break it to him. I do have some text messages that I sent her that night after she left and the one she sent me at 5 a.m. I hope that will suffice. You're right, as I was typing out my post, I realized if she could do that to the man she loves, the one she wants to spend forever with, what could or has she done to me? Not only that, but she deliberately went home with the guy after I saw them kiss and called her out on it. It wasn't a drunken mistake. No, it wasn't a heat of the moment. And let's not forget, she made a plan. She was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and then we'll go home right after. Instead, she went to the bathroom and ran off with him and left you at the bar. All right, so she gave a mini update in the comment section the same day. I knew right after I posted that I needed to tell Mason regardless of my relationship with Kiana. Kiana texted me while I was on my lunch asking me what the weight limit is for a carry-on because she thinks she needs to empty some stuff. I completely forgot that she was flying out for a conference this evening. I gave her a short response, then called Mason, who picked up. I told him I needed to talk to him tonight and he said he would meet me after work. He works a block away from me. I'm meeting him in about half an hour and I'm planning on telling him anyway. It's crappy timing considering Kiana won't be home until Saturday afternoon, but the clock is ticking and I need to be honest right away. I will update in a few days. Oh, you are just doing Lord's work over here. Before we get the juicy final update, we gotta drink some water, okay? Cheers, it's hydration station. Drink your water. You guys, my friend has a Jeep and we just got ducked. Is this not the cutest thing? I literally want a Jeep just so I can do the ducking thing because I think it's the funnest, cutest thing ever. All right, so we do in fact have the update. 5 days later, we're now at April 5th, 2016. As soon as I sent my last post, I knew I needed to tell Mason about what was going on. It wasn't to clear my conscience, but it was because I knew if I was in his position, I would want somebody to tell me too. Mason is still one of my good friends, and he didn't deserve that treatment regardless of my relationship with Kiana. I called Mason and he picked up, and I asked him if we could see each other that night. He said we could meet at a pub in between both of our offices after work that day. When I got off work and I walked over to the pub, my stomach was in knots and my heart wouldn't stop beating because I was so nervous to break the news. I walked in and Mason was there already waiting for me. He gave me a big hug and he looked so happy, which made me feel even worse. Mason asked about my day, I asked about his, etc. He then asked if Kiana mentioned anything about the ring, if she liked it, if she was happy, etc. He must have seen a look on my face because he asked me what was wrong. I started by saying that what I'm about to tell him will change either his relationship with Kiana, his friendship with me, Kiana's friendship with me, or all of the above. Mason looked confused, so I went on and I told him about what happened on Saturday. I didn't call Kiana any names. I didn't focus too much on her side of the story. I just gave out an attempted objective narrative of what happened, right up until when she called me about the engagement and I asked if she was going to tell him, and she said no. Mason went pale for a moment and I asked him if he needed a minute. Mason told me that Kiana said she got really drunk and slept at my place on Saturday night, which is why she didn't come home to him. He asked to see the text that I sent her, so I showed him the whole text thread and all the placed calls that I made to see if she was okay. I told him if I were in his position, I would want to know, and because I care for him, I didn't want him to find out later on. He looked at me with almost no expression on his face and said, "Well, I guess I should get tested, huh?" That's awkward. I felt so bad for him and I asked him if he needed anything. He told me he believed me and will talk to Kiana when she gets home. Mason said our friendship won't change and he's grateful that I told him before he ended up marrying her, but feels like crap that she accepted his proposal and is flaunting the engagement to the world, yet screwed someone else 4 days prior. He said he wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't the first time something like this happened. Oh man. I told him I had no idea if anything else had gone on, but if he needed anything else, to just let me know. He said he'll talk to Kiana when she gets back on Saturday. This is when he started to get a little teary-eyed and said that he had to go. He gave me a hug goodbye. I didn't hear from either of them until Saturday night around 11 p.m. when I got a call from Kiana asking if she could come to my place. She showed up 15 minutes later and was a crying mess. She said that Mason broke off the engagement because he logged onto her Facebook and found messages that she sent to some guys over the past year. So she had more going on besides this one story. Oh, girl. Mason told her how I told him about last Saturday night, and she said she was too afraid to tell him because it was a mistake. Kiana then asked me why I told him, and I said if it happened to her, I would do the same thing, and if it were me in Mason's position, I would want to know too. Her face started turning red, and that's when she dropped a bomb on me. In my last post, I said that I knew how Mason felt because I was cheated on before. My last boyfriend, Dominic, and I were together for 3 years before he came to my place one drunken night out with hickeys on his neck. I knew they weren't from me and immediately broke it off with him. He said he doesn't remember who they were from, which I knew was BS. Kiana said that she was the one that Dominic cheated on me with. What a piece of to everyone in her life. Like, do you care about people at all? Anyone? Anyone. Which means that not only did Dominic cheat on me with my best friend, but she cheated on Mason with Dominic too. I couldn't even look at her. I asked her to leave and to not contact me again. I've been questioning our friendship ever since. I got some text messages and missed calls from her asking me to hear her out, calling me a bitch, then going back to kissing my ass. I blocked her number and her profiles on all my social media accounts. Mutual friends of ours have asked what happened and say that they're not surprised by her behavior. I heard from Mason on Monday night. He texted me saying it's over and I asked if he was okay. Mason told me that he will be eventually and asked me to meet him for coffee tonight when I'm done working. Apparently he took a few days off for personal reasons. So that's about it. Turns out I was blind to her character this entire time. I'm incredibly hurt that my so-called best friend has never really been a best friend to me at all. I can't be left wondering what else happened but to move on and spend time with my friends who care about me and have proven so. I might provide a mini update on here if anything else happens after I talk to Mason tonight. I'm just still in shock by this whole ordeal. It makes me wonder if any of this would have come to light had I not said anything to Mason. Thanks for all your advice, internet strangers. Well, it's more than just that one cheating story. This was meant to happen. A blessing in disguise, truly. And we're gonna see what the people of Reddit are saying. Though they probably don't got very nice things to say. About you, they will. Someone commented and said, I'm so sorry that both you and Mason went through this mess. You are both far better off without Kiana. She sounds like a crappy partner and a terrible friend. I wish you both the best of luck. Like I said, she don't care about if she doesn't care about the closest people to her, I've seen what I needed to see. Next comment. Wow, what a horrible person. By the way, the reason she chose to tell you about her and your ex now is because she wanted to hurt you. She's a horrible person and I'm so glad you told her boyfriend. Because you did, he read her messages and found out how bad she truly was. And now you both know that she's been hurting him for a long time. For sure. She didn't tell you because she felt bad. She didn't tell you because she wanted to be honest. She got pissed that you told Mason and she was like, well, fine, I'm gonna tell you. Next comment. By the way, the reason she chose to tell you about you and your ex now is because she wanted to hurt you. Obviously very similar. She's been saving this. She has held this in her a-hole arsenal waiting for a signal to go nuclear. She hung out with you, probably helped you through your crappy breakup, all while the knowing. I can't even begin to go off how crappy and cold a person like this is. True. When you were there crying and saying, oh my God, Dominic cheated on me, and you were heartbroken, you just know she was playing hero. Best friend. Oh, there's another update. There's another update. Oh, yes. Sorry, got really excited that there's more. Last comment, someone asked, will you possibly date Mason? OP wrote back and said, LOL, no way. I care for Mason a lot, but this isn't a Jennifer Aniston-esque romantic comedy. Fair enough. All right, so we have an update that came the next day, April 6th. I met Mason at a cafe after work. He didn't look very good, kind of disheveled, and his eyes were all puffy. I gave him a huge hug and he said, well, that's not how I expected that weekend to go. He said he cut Kiana off from everything, kicked her out of the house, got the ring back, changed all of his passwords and banking information. She tried contacting him too, but like me, he blocked her off of everything. He asked if I saw her and I told him what happened on Saturday night, and I told him what happened. He felt really bad for me that Dominic cheated on me with Kiana, and I reminded him that 1, she also cheated on him with Dominic, and 2, while I appreciate his sympathy, he's the one who needs the support right now. Then Mason brought up the fact that I also lost my best friend too. We talked about moving forward and he said that he will take some of the engagement ring money after he sells it to go on a nice vacation. We talked about random things and he thanked me for all of the support. Before we left, he gave me a big hug and said that telling him was a brave thing to do and he appreciates the act of loyalty and it means a lot to him. I said I will be there for him whenever he needs anything. To many of you who are asking, I will not become friends with benefits with Mason or even date him. Not now, at least. Oh, you're not saying never. So it could happen. Yes, I care for him. Yes, the attraction is there and we get along great. But I knew how devastated I was after Dominic cheated on me. You lose all trust and dating again can be scary. It took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that not everyone out there is a liar or a cheater, and I had to do a lot of self-reflecting and become confident in myself. I want Mason to have that same opportunity. Jumping into something with him would not be wise, especially because he will be feeling a lot of different emotions over the next little while. Maybe it could happen one day, maybe not, but I'm just going to do what I can to be the friend that he needs right now. Thanks for your support, guys. Well, it could happen. You seem very emotionally mature. I don't know. Way beyond my. You seem very mature. It seems like you have healed from everything that happened to you. I don't know why I'm secretly hoping that you and Mason get together. I was really hoping there was like another update here being like, hey, we're engaged now, married with kids. It's been a long time. This is from like 2016. Come on, it's been a decade. Whatever. In my head, they ended up together. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on this one, you guys. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.